So if you're anything like me, you have found yourself in a position of having multiple very applicable excuses for not doing what you know you need to do. I had tons of lists with stuff that would help me to reach the next level, but I wouldn't do that stuff. I always seem to find different excuses about not having the right technical gear, not having enough knowledge on the subject, not being in the right position to film as short as I'm doing here. I'm just sitting in a chair in an open space talking to you guys. But back in the days, I could even have a fear of talking when not in front of other people. I could easily do that, but talking when other people were present, even my family. Just doing a live on Facebook or video here on YouTube in my living room would actually causes me to kind of back off. Something in me said, no, you shouldn't do this. It's the same feeling as when you walk on the street with your phone forward, or you have something on your heart and you speak in the car, and suddenly you notice that someone else is pulling up next to you. Your mind started wondering, what does that guy or girl in that car think of me? I don't know if you can relate, guys, but if you can relate anyway, you probably face some of the same limiting beliefs as I did. You probably face some of the same, I would say, fear as I do. I know I have a huge belief that I can do so much. I also have a lot of knowledge. I don't think that I was afraid to fail. It was really not a fear of failing. It was a fear of failing of what others would think about me failing. I don't even know if those people recognized me or if they even saw what I did. But in my head, it was so important that they recognized and would appreciate everything I did. One thing is that it's based on other people's energy. You put a lot of your energy out in other people. Why is it important to you that specifically those people that you show them to get results? It's probably something with your ego. And why is it important to you what other people think? And are you right now? Is this the fortune teller in your head trying to predict what you think other people think is right? Did you get that sentence? It's a weird one, right? But we spend a lot of time in other people's head. And we think we're right about everything we assume. And we think if we assume that people think we are weird for talking to the phone or for taking action and spending a Thursday night live on Zoom with people we don't know, then it's weird. But I can tell you that I have spent countless of meetings with people I don't know. And I can tell you that the struggle was real, because I would be, as every other business owner, I would be equally excited when I signed a call up, when I booked a call with someone. Then as maybe I did that a month or 2 weeks ahead. But as I progressed to the date and I looked at my calendar, I would actually secretly hope for them to cancel. So that goes under the same bucket of excuses. It was just, I'm telling you this story because for me it meant that I spent almost a full day of not being productive, of not being the best version of me, because I would start being afraid of showing up. So that's another type of fear that can take us away from all the good intentions that we have about taking action. So when we do recognize this happens, we start to be able to call BS on ourselves. And when we call BS on ourselves, we actually have a chance to do something about it. And this is where it's really important, where 95% of people falls victim, because they don't see it happening. But you see that it's happening and you can do something about it. And then you should imagine here, there's actually two tools. The first tool is you imagine what is the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing that can happen is that you go through life playing it small, that you don't give yourself the chance to play big. You should realize that no one cares. No one cares about you until you care about yourself. So when you start caring about yourself and doing what's important to you and your business, then people will start to care about you. A negative attitude and a bad attitude towards something positive other people do is always a reflection of what's going inside of what's going on inside of themselves. But there is a potential upside here. So you're like me sitting here in an open space filming this for you, or you recording a video with you coming out with an idea you have, whatever, on an open street walking, and other people sees that. It's you who defaults it to be negative, because it could also be you inspiring others to take action, inspiring others to do what they think is not normal. So what if you're inspired like 9 out of 10 people? And what if the 1 out of 10 who was negative and actually said something to you actually have a problem with themselves? Connect that to the first tool I gave you and say, what is the worst thing that can happen? It's you going through life playing it small. I started to learn about how to become passionate about that feeling, how to actually own that feeling, how to take that feeling out of my head, put it into my heart, and just hug it and say, yeah, I understand. You're trying to keep me safe here. You're trying to keep me safe from being a victim of other people laughing. Your mind will have the power to tell you many occasions where that happened. It will send you pictures of situations where you feel awkward or where things went wrong. But looking at the big picture here, that will only be fractions of your life. For me and for many other people, it's only small fractions of life that takes up a lot of mental space. So you need to put that in an envelope, send it to your heart, grab it, hug it, whatever. This sounds really weird, but I promise you it will work. Because the minute that you own that feeling, accept that feeling, and move on because of that feeling, it's a game changer. That's where you start to acknowledge yourself. That's where you start to say, hey, this is actually important to me. And that's why I'm having this feeling, because I really want it to go well. And guess what? It will never go well if you don't do anything about it. It will only lead to frustrations. So even though the feeling of fear is trying to protect you here, the mind is trying to protect you, what it does in the long run, it will probably cause the opposite. That's it for today, guys. I do hope you enjoy this short video on what it takes from you and your mind to have success. I look forward to see you in the comments here or inside the Facebook group. I'll put a link to the Facebook group because I want to discuss this subject a little more with all of you guys, both in order to help you discover if that is the same case for you, get some different perspective to see if what I'm talking about here, 1, makes sense, 2, am I the only one this has happened to? Take care, stay safe, bye.